It's that time, the Orion Hotline. Read the fucking rulebook and you'll be fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your favorite show, the Orion Hotline, with me, Dante Orion, here to answer any and all your manifesting questions and needs, with, of course, the reality rulebook, which is in the description box below, that has all the secret sauce, all the secret formulas, and everything that I teach. Free for you, free to read in the description box below, as well as the pinned comment, as well as members-only content, members-only deep dives on stuff with the Manifesting 101, as well as exclusive music. Anyways, off to today's newsletter, weekly newsletter. We have 2 emails today, one of which deals with 4 pillars, and the second one deals with ignoring the 3D or navigating the 3D, per se. All right, off to start with the email number 1. Hello, Dante. I just wanted to say thank you for the reality rulebook. It's been very helpful. I've been attempting to get my 4 pillars locked in, so when I do get confronted by my old self, I stop messing up and falling back into my old ways. Well, who told you that? Do you have any advice on how to actually write down my 4 pillars so I'm best prepared for this? Sorry for the newbie question. Just really doing my best to make sure I get this and stop failing. Who says you're failing? Appreciate all you do, bro. Okay. So when I talk about 4 pillars, right? This is what Eric from The Power of I Am talks about. I learned from him, and I've been evolving my own understandings with this. 4 pillars. So you have the 4 pillars of knowing yourself as all that is. That is the number 1. So knowing that you are one with source, connected with source, that you are the one experiencing this reality, and then you're the one selecting what these things mean. So knowing that yourself as the selector, not as the ego, as the avatar that you are currently playing. So in this example, I'm playing Dante, but I know that my identity is connected with one that is all there is, right? The second is self-concept. So concept of self, knowing areas of your life. So this could include past experiences with love, it could be past experiences with wealth, with money, past experiences with success, with intelligence, with how fast you learn, how slow you learn, what subjects you're good with and what subjects you're not good with, right? So that's the second area. The third area is your direct end, right? So the specifics, the specific of your end. So it has to be in congruency. In congruency, all that means is that it makes sense. So in this sense, if you were to say, I made $5,000 today, is that in congruency with the identities that you already have with regards to your self-concept or concept of self, right? Because if you always thought money's hard to come by, or my business is struggling, versus my business is booming, money's so easy to come by, I have the best clients, the best customers, everyone loves working with me, right? Those outcomes don't flow if your alignment isn't with the identity that would experience those outcomes, because you don't manifest things. I tell this in every single video. You don't manifest things, you manifest the person that would experience that thing. So if you are the version of yourself that would experience that, it becomes flow. It becomes something that is normalized, and whatever is normalized, you consistently experience. Because we want things to be normal. We want greatness to be normal. We want magnificence and majesty to be normal. We don't want like a one-off thing of like, oh boy, I won $40, right? You want it to be a consistent flow of, you look at your bank account and you see the fucking number rising every single day. You go through it, but it's like these things are naturally shown to you. You aren't actively doing something to get something, and you're not actively searching for something, because you know internally, because the internal is the truth, that it's already there. And the 4th pillar is how you view your reality with regards to your end and with regards to your self-concept and concept of self. So when you experience a loss or you experience a win, how are you reacting to it? And then how are you categorizing it relationally to these self-concepts and concepts of self and your direct end, right? If fucking Bobby winks at you, you aren't going to be overjoyed and over the moon if you already decided that you guys are dating together, or you guys are together, or you guys are married, or whatever it is. But you also, just as you can be swayed one way positively, you can also be swayed negatively. If someone ignores you, or the deal supposedly falls through, or something happens, right? You're not being pulled in the other way. And like the negative way, people sway a lot harder, but then the positive way of like, wow, you're getting some attention now. Oh, wow, that money came through. But it's not like all the money that you wanted, or some sort of modicum of success that you aren't used to. And because you aren't used to it, you are now categorizing yourself as that isn't me, because you aren't used to it. So when you are getting your 4 pillars locked in, you just decide they are. What you're doing is you're analyzing yourself, right? You know yourself as all that is. You have to accept that, because if you don't accept that, you're always, always, always going to be operating from the limited mind of who you are physically, right? You're going to be like fucking regulating nervous systems. You're going to be monitoring thoughts, and like it's gonna be a fucking hassle when you versus like knowing that you are one with the infinite, that you have fucking source of God energy on your side and you decide it and that's how it must be. It's way easier, and you don't fucking try and logic things. When you operate from like fucking brain heart coherence, or you're having to meditate or do breath work, it's like you lost the plot, because now you're operating from a limited framework, and now you're having to do things in order to get what you want. When you've all like, if you haven't been doing this for bad shit, why would you be doing it now? You don't worry about doing fucking, what is it, sats? You don't worry about doing sats. You don't worry about meditating or self-hypnotizing yourself how bad your life sucks, right? It's the same way. You did it for the negative, now you can do it for the positive, and some people just naturally do it for the positive, right? Because you are what you tell yourself consistently. Whatever you attach to I am, you eventually become in this moment of now. So, as Eric from the Power of Am says, shout out to Eric, fucking man, you have these 4 pillars. However, I view it as 4 streams of consciousness, right? So imagine like a thing of water, right? You are naturally, like, if you have a dirty stream, like, it's all going to be dirty. So when these areas of self-concept or concept of self or your desired end, if they pollute the river that you actually want to experience it, you fucked up. So if your main channel, let's say the main channel is knowing yourself as all that is, that's where all the water's coming from, that's how you're operating from. But then you have all these tertiary streams, all these side channels that have the areas of your life that you identify as. So it could be like this one person experiences the love that they wish to experience, but then their money fucking situation sucks, and then it comes in and forms a cocktail of whatever that is, right? It's the streams forming together. So you have to understand, like, this analogy will help so many people, in the sense that as you have these beliefs, they form together into this reality, into this version of yourself, because you're manifesting the version of yourself. That's what the experience in front of you is. That's in the 3D. So when you decide these new areas of your life, when you're choosing different channels now to put into your river, when you're selecting new pillars of self, you have to understand how you previously thought before. And you, like, I just wrote it down, or I was just aware of like, oh, like I thought about X thing, or I thought like jobs would be difficult to get, right? But then you go, no, it's this way now. And now you're going to be confronted with people parroting back what you previously thought. It could be intrusive thoughts. It could be a gut feeling of like you feel like shit. The economy, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or it could be like rejection letters, or it could be whatever. But you have to realize that shit does not define you. It's just the echo of who you previously were. And like, once you realize that, it becomes actually kind of funny, because you're just like, oh, nice try. It's like, I know who I am, and the fact that I'm getting this resistance, the fact that I have these internal thoughts that I don't like, it means that you changed internally, because if you had those thoughts normally, they were normalized and you wouldn't be fucking aware of it. The fact that you changed internally, it's good that you're having the friction. It's good that you're having the contrast, because like I said before, if you're going into the freezing cold and then hop into a shower, it's going to feel like a greater contrast than if you were to just stay in the freezing cold, right? You weren't aware of how cold it was, just as you weren't aware how negative your fucking self-talk was, how negative the outcomes that you were selecting, right? You weren't aware of how bad the bullshit was. So that's my advice. Second email, and this is more with regards to navigating the 3D. So second email is, hey Dante, I appreciate your input on everything you say and do. Of course you do. But how do you remove or reduce something specific that you don't like when it's right in front of you? Got it. For example, gray hair. What do I say when I see that? Do I say something like it's disappearing, or it's not there, or what? It seems like I can't ignore it. So if it all depends on what your end is, because like some people don't want the idea of aging, or they want to stay youthful, or they want to look good, or they want to just be hot. Like, it depends on what your direct end is. If it's like you don't want to have gray hair, right? You can describe how amazing and beautiful your hair is, but it's also like, it's all like, you have to analyze it from the perspectives of like, are you aware that like you can select this, or are you doing it out of fear of like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to be aware of like, yes, you are the selective of your reality, which is why I'm saying the 4 pillars or the 4 streams of consciousness is so important, because you have to be aware that you are able to experience whatever you decide you want to experience, as long as you are like internalize it, right? And you don't give a fuck about seeing it outside of you. So when you internalize that, and you have your self-concepts or concept of self, and you have your direct end, like let's say it's like you have a beautiful hair, like luscious head of hair, right? That's gorgeous. Maybe like, let's say you fucking brown hair, right? And then you see a gray hair after you disclaim that. And like previously, you worried about getting old or not looking good because you were getting old or like whatever, give or take. You're going to be confronted with the old. And it's not something to be afraid about, right? As Jesus said, or as the fucking Bible said, sorry, have no fear or do not be afraid, right? In the sense that you're going to be confronted with who you once were, and now your job is to deny it. That's all you have to do. You just have to deny it, say, nope, that's not what I chose. That's not who I am anymore. That's not who I am anymore. I am this. And you go about your day. What I do is that, no, I'm actually this because, that's why I say the plus Y, right? So if like it's like a person or like a fucking job opportunity, of course that fucking job wants me. I fucking print the money. I'm the best employee that they've ever had. Like I learned so quickly. I'm literally the top talent as soon as I fucking joined. The company needs me. I don't need them. Like boom, says done. Boom, done. When you experience the old confronting you, whether it be an intrusive thought, an intrusive feeling, it could be seeing the fucking opposite in front of your face. Yeah. It's like, imagine if a waiter or waitress came up to you at a restaurant and you ordered a fucking, like, a hamburger and they gave you chicken. You would be like, no, I ordered a hamburger, take it back, right? You're not going to be like, oh, do I have to eat the chicken now? No, it's the same thing. Like, imagine, like, manifesting is simply as, like, putting your order in at a restaurant. If you get something that's not what you ordered, you say, no, this is not what I ordered, take it back. I ordered what I ordered, right? Same thing. How do you have faith in the restaurant staff? Yeah, like, you know what your end is. You know who you are, hopefully, if you read the rule book, if you internalize it and agree with it now, and you're operating from it. You know what your end is. So anything that isn't your end, you don't agree with or freak out about. Because if you freak out about it, that's saying inherently that you are that. Because we don't agree with things or we don't freak out over things that have nothing to do with us. If fucking Timmy was driving a tricycle and he crashed, you wouldn't be like, oh no. Like, you wouldn't be freaking out and be like, oh my God, Timmy. Like, unless you knew Timmy, of course. Like, if it pertained to you. But this whole thing of like, you have a gray hair, like, do you freak out about it? Or do you go like, no, that's not me. I actually have a luscious head of like brunette hair. I'm gorgeous. I'm majestic. I'm timeless. I'm youthful at any age, right? Like you have to have the discipline and the self accountability because it's not persisting. It's not doing things to get things. It's not like repeating a technique over and over again and then checking the mirror, right? You are it the second you decide it, and now once you decided it, you are it. So there's no need to look. Like, you don't look for shoes that you already have. You don't look at your pair of socks and go, oh boy, this must mean I'm getting my new shoes today. If you already have the shoes, right? You're not looking at the billboards for the new iPhone and go, this must mean I finally get my iPhone if you have it in your hand, right? Like, those thoughts never come into your mind. If you had a luscious head of brunette hair, you wouldn't be going, oh my God, but it's gray. Like, that would never come into your mind. So you have to have the discipline of staying the same regardless of what's outside of you, because now it doesn't matter to you, because now it doesn't pertain to you. That's an old character. That's an old script. What you look like in the mirror isn't even who you are now. All right? Got it. I know that helps. I know all you guys are going to have an amazing week, and I'll catch you guys in the next Orion Hotline.